Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw tips and tricks, and this is part two. And after I sent part one to the gentleman that was needing help making this distress or jagged line, he actually said something that kind of sparked my interest. He said, I wish there was just a stroke. Well, if we go to artistic media and take the brush tool, there are some distress looking strokes that you could pick from. And I'm just going to kind of pick one. And you could, one, you can make your own, but two, we're going to pick this one right here, and I'm just going to draw a line. Nah, that's not what I want. Let's go back to the artistic media tool, and let's pick this one. Not too terribly bad, but it's not what we want. But what I was thinking about doing, if we would, you could change this, make it really small, and what I suggested do, and he actually took a 2-point line, and then we took the roughing tool and roughed up that line, and just keep roughing it till you get a non-symmetrical pattern. Because that's when I did the first video, my outside line was more square than the other one. So then I would take this line and duplicate it and then actually mirror it and put it down, well, that's too symmetrical, so we'll put it back. Well, they're pretty symmetrical anyway, but you'll see what I'm going to do in here in just a second. Then I'm going to take another 2-point line to close up this gap, because then I'm going to use the Smart Fill tool to make a color, because that was what was wrong with my original, is my original had too smooth of lines on the outside and did pretty well on the inside. And then you could take this and actually squish it down. But then we can left click and right click and have an outline. And I don't really like this brush stroke. Let's see if we can't find another one. Artistic media tool and go to the that one should work, but I don't know if it's just a bunch of dots. Let's back up here, and that you could possibly get to work. I thought I'd seen one earlier that was pretty distressed looking. Let's see what this one looks like. No, that's just a bunch of lines. But see, you can make it thinner. Let's just bring those lines closer together. And what I'm trying to do is just, and then we could possibly take the, whenever you do that, you need to go to Object and break the artistic media apart, and then you'll get rid of your line. Then you could take this and possibly use the roughing tool on it. And it's the only thing wrong with the roughing tool, no matter what I've tried, it's just too symmetrical. But I'm just going to kind of play around and just keep roughing it, and getting that. And then I'm going to make it really, really small. And I'm going to try to put it inside my line. And I can't, well, let's make it a hairline. We'll make it a little bit thicker than a hairline and put it inside our line, and then actually elongate it to the whole length of the line. And it doesn't really matter. What I'm going to do is go CE and put it kind of in the center. Then you could take the Smart Fill tool and fill in. Well, what we need to do is probably take this line and go up to here and convert it to an object so it won't fill in. And then take the Smart Fill tool. Let's use a blue so you can kind of see it, what's going to happen. And then just kind of go through and hit some points and leave some points open, leave some roughness spots open. I think that would be the way to do it. See, we're leaving some items open. My line is quite a bit longer than I thought it would have been. You don't have to fill all these in. And that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to go and take my line away by right clicking. And I'm actually going to make it black. Whoop, I just filled it all in with black. It'll be okay right now just to be blue. But see, it's kind of well, it's really still too symmetrical. So let's take the smoothing tool and try to, smooth some of this out. And you can see that some of my black lines are coming through. That looks pretty good. If we do this, kind of look at it, and you can kind of see the black. So what I'm going to have to do is take I'm going to have to make it all black. So I'm just going to use the Smart Fill tool. I'm going to pick on the blue because he's an engraver. He's going to engrave this on the bottom of something. And you could also hit this and then hold down the Shift tool to select all of them and then make them all black. And what's so good about this, then if we group this together, Control G, and then we can actually make it thinner, it looks pretty good. And then if you will go to the Artistic Media tool and go to we actually go to the paintbrush and save this. Save that brush and just call it, I'm going to just call it DIS for distress and save it okay. And now when you take your line, it's going to draw that distress mark. And, you don't have to have it, especially I think he was going to put it around some text. So you could actually kind of put it around a shape, doesn't have to be perfectly perpendicular. And then you could still take that shape and narrow it down more. That looks pretty, this is the original that he sent me. Of course, it's real fuzzy. That looks a little bit closer. Anyway, I hope that helped him a little bit. Thank you for watching.